is Sydney, 26, and I'm an Adventist. I've been an Adventist all my life, but I would say I've personally got to know God in the last year. God's brought me through so much. November the 12th. November the 12th was the morning after I was raped. And I was in shock, total shock, but I knew that I felt a presence. I knew that God was with me. I knew I wasn't on my own. That was one of the hardest things. Telling my family is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Just facing the fact that had happened was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my entire life. But I realised that God was in there. He was in it. He was in everything that I said. He was in the tears that I cried. He was in the moments where I just felt alone. He was there. He was in that. He was in the presence. He was in the midst of all of that. I was at a place where I was ashamed. I was embarrassed and I was ashamed. And more than anything, I knew I was carrying the shame of my family. I had what looked like that perfect, everyone huddled together to support Sid. She needs this right now. But in the core of that, I had people telling me, don't tell anyone anything. I had the closest people to me saying, don't tell anyone anything. And that was the first time in my adult life that I had carried the shame of other people as well as myself. The beauty of that is I knew that God wasn't ashamed of me. I knew that there was nothing that I had done then where I should have been ashamed. But it was their shame. It was their shame that they wanted to put on me, and God wasn't having that. He wasn't having that at all. As soon as that happened, I jumped into church. I jumped into church, fully fledged into church, and it wasn't even about the fact that I wanted to put myself in the front of church or be a part of any praise team, but I needed to know that I was around God's people who wouldn't be ashamed of me, who would help me and who would catch me if I fell on the floor crying my eyes out. And that's what I went for. I stepped into Kennington Church, and that was the best thing I've ever done. Process of healing, and the good thing about God is when He wants to heal you, He heals you from the things that happened 20 years ago that you forgot about. He heals you from the inside out. He turns over every single stone, and if He sees something there, He'll deal with it. After a couple of months, God took me past the rape. He took me past all the shame, past all the embarrassment, past all of the awkward moments with the family, and I realised that He was taking me back to a place in my past. But I saw how talking about rape, talking about all these things that are such a taboo in church, I saw how it affected other people because people started to stand up.